Hello, this is Dylan Hutton of the Hoga Network, and I'm here with first-year head coach for the Royal Retreat Indians, Chris Akers.
Thanks for having me, Dylan.
And Chris, you're taking over a team that went 4-7 last season. You were an assistant at William Fleming. Can you tell us a little bit more about where else you come from?
I'm originally from Bluefield, Virginia, so it's really nice for me to actually come back to Southwest Virginia. I feel more at home being back here. I went to Radford University, like you said. I did coach at William Fleming High School last year, and I was at George Washington High School the previous 9 years. So I've been a little bit of everywhere. And I'll say this about Royal Retreat. You know, people say that, you know, they have it made where they are, and I truly do. I truly do. You're not going to find a place that has nicer people. And when I say people, I'm saying faculty, staff, students, community. You know, all of them, they support our athletics, and I would first like to start off by saying I thank you to them for giving me this opportunity, and can't wait to get things started.
You know, football season is definitely right on the horizon. Like I said, you're taking over a program that went 4-7 last season, which isn't bad, but it still has a lot that can be improved upon. You upset the eventual champions of the Hoga District, Chilhowie, right here on this field last season. So definitely that was a big part of the year. But coming into this year, how excited are you to get your first chance here at Royal Retreat?
I'm very excited. I truly am, and I know the kids are too. Sometimes I hope they're as excited as I am, and they're hungry. They're hungry. You know, we showed flashes last year. Obviously, the Chilhowie game that we can win, and we can compete against some of the top dogs in the district. We have a lot of young kids. We graduated a lot of the major players on last year's team. We have 2 returning starters on offense and 2 on defense. We have a lot of young kids that are going to step up, and they've been eager. They've been coming to workouts and working extremely hard, and I think things are going to pay off for us.
Also talking about new things this year, you're bringing back an old coach, Dean Ray, from the old school days here at Royal Retreat. He coached for 18 years, stopped coaching in 2003, but over that time he had 135 wins, 4 regional titles. How big of a plus is that to have him here your first season?
Oh, he's huge. He truly is. He's huge. His record speaks for itself. You know, Coach Ray could have given it up 10 years ago, like you said, and been done with it, and everyone knows he's a legend around here. That's what they call him. They call him the legend around here. But what impresses me most about Coach Ray is the way he interacts with our kids. You know, put the X's and O's to the side. You know, he's just an encyclopedia as far as X's and O's. But the way he interacts with our kids is just spectacular. I mean, he's very patient. He's very understanding, and they really gravitate towards him.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be a great asset for you going into this first season, having him back over on the sidelines for the first time in 11 years. I think it'll be definitely
absolutely
something. I bet he's excited to be back too.
Yeah, he is. You know, he comes to school every day, and he'll come see me when we're in the building, and he's just got a big smile on his face, and he just loves to talk football. You know, he loves being around it, and you can just see, you know, a little bit of extra energy coming from him as well. And, you know, we talk about Coach Ray, and Coach Ray is excellent, but like I said, I've been to other schools, and I've been around other coaching staffs. And I will say this, and I can say this honestly, we have as good as coaching staff, if not better than anybody around. We have, including myself and Coach Ray, we have 9 on our staff for our varsity and JV program, and those guys have done everything that we ask them to. They're just extremely knowledgeable. And I'm going to say it now, there's some of them that know more than I do. There's some of them that know things more than I do. So they help me, and I help them, and I've always thought that, you know, each person brings something to the table. We all have our weaknesses, and we all have our strengths, and if we can get them all together, then we'll be a lot better off.
Now, are these assistants from the previous staff
that
you brought back?
We have 2 that are coming back from last year. A few of them have coached in the past. We got a couple from one that's coached in the past at George with, and we got one that it's his first go around. So, you know, a little bit of everything, and I'm just happy to have them, and I'm glad they're with us.
Yeah, it's definitely a plus having those two that was here last year stay back on because they know the personnel pretty
No,
well.
it really is. It really is. And when you're the new guy in town, you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And you got to find those people that you need to go to and talk to, and they'll send you in the right direction. So, they've truly helped me out a lot.
So talking about settling into your role here at Roar Street, what are some things you've done to settle into your role? As far as, have you watched some games from last year or stuff like that, or?
Dylan, I've watched every one of them.
Yeah.
I've watched every one of them. Sometimes, just to be honest with you, sometimes I've had to shut them off. Sometimes you watch so much, you get too technical with them. But I have watched all the films, and a lot of it is I want two things I want to see. I want to see how some of our kids competed, and then I wanted to see what we're going to face. And I'll say this, I'm coming from a 4A school, and with 1,500 kids, 1,400 kids, and loaded with talent. But 1A football in our district is as good as any place that you're going to find in 1A. It truly is. There's not one team that can't win on any given night, and there's not one team that you cannot take seriously. You have to take everybody. You have to take everybody fully. And I was impressed with everybody that I saw on film. And I watched some things, and obviously there's some things that I want to change, and obviously we did some things that I liked, and we've kept. So it's really nice, especially the new software that we have out, that you get that all those films are librated and you can watch all that.
Yeah, that's a huge plus. And do you feel like you've settled in officially here as a Roar Street head coach?
Yeah, I've been here officially since June. So I've been here since June, and I've been going at it for almost 3 months now. So it's easy. It really was an easy transition for me. Like I said, the people of here have been more than kind to me, and just made it so much easier on me.
Well, going into that, let's go ahead and talk about the early season workouts here. Going into the fall, how has those been as far as your early fall workouts?
They've been really good. One thing that you sometimes get down on is your numbers. And we have approximately 315 kids in our school. That's what we're doing with. You split that in half, that's how many boys we got that can play. And coming from those bigger schools, we're used to having a JV and a varsity program and having nearly 80, 90 kids in the program. And obviously I would like for our numbers to be greater than they are, but I think everybody's in the same boat as we are. We averaged anywhere from 25 to 30. We went 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the mornings. And for the most part, they were here. Obviously, we had vacations and things that you have to work around. That's just part of it. But they came in, they did what we asked them to do. I think we got bigger. I think we got stronger. I think we got stronger physically and mentally. And those are the two things that we harped on was, in order for us to get better, we have to get better physically and mentally. We have to get tougher there. And I think that's happened, and hopefully that will transition to our games.
As far as getting back in shape, as far as that goes, what is your beliefs as far as a workout regimen for your teams?
Well, they always say there's no easy way out, and I believe in that, and I think our kids are buying into that too. We lift, we run, and with our new rules, we can go out and we can throw the football around a little bit. So we do a little bit of everything. I think obviously you have to be in some kind of condition. You have to be physically strong, and you got to know what you're doing. And that's the two things. That's the three things that we focus on, and we want to be playing fast. So there's no easy way around it. And I'm just going to say our kids bust their tails. They really do. They just go at it. And that's, people tell me that when I got here. They said, you're going to find out these are hardworking kids. And they're absolutely right. They're hardworking kids.
And you've been quoted as saying that you run a multiple offense. How has that worked out for you as far as personnel-wise going into the fall with what you've seen?
One thing I've always believed, you always have to adapt your offense around your personnel. Obviously, if you got some guys that can sling it and catch it and throw it, you're gonna throw it. If you got some guys that are bigger, stronger, pound it up in there, you'll run it. So we have adapted our offense around our personnel, obviously. and we're still tweaking things. It's not a finished puzzle by any stretch of the imagination. We're still tweaking things, and we're going to find out with our scrimmage and our benefit game what we need to keep, what we need to throw out, and put people in the right positions to be successful.
And talking about scrimmage and benefit games, you've got a very close QB competition. That's what we talked about before we went on air. What are some things you're seeing from your QBs, the two that are vying for the starting QB role here at Rural Retreat?
You know, first thing I'll say is I love them both. I really do, and they both possess qualities that are very good, and they both have weak points and they both have strong points. The good thing is they're both younger guys. One's a 10th grader, one's an 11th grader. I've always said that I don't want to, you know, put a target on somebody and highlight one kid or the other, but I wouldn't say it's a controversy or a battle, but we're going to find out who the best guy is after the two scrimmages, and that's the simplest thing to do. And I've talked to both of them. I've sat them down and said, listen, you guys know what you're in, and we're just going to let it play out, and whoever performs the best gets the job. Now that doesn't mean that, you know, whoever that person is, it doesn't get the job, is going to stand on the sidelines. They're going to help us in some other position. But they understand that, and it's been very cordial. I've never heard them say any harsh words to each other, and they go out there and they push each other. And I've always thought that if you do have some competition, it forces you to get better. So I'm really impressed with both of them. I wouldn't trade them for anybody. I say that to them all the time. I don't care who it is. I wouldn't trade them for anybody. And either way it goes, we're going to have a good one.
Yeah, the competition.
Any way it goes, we're going to have a good one.
It's really going to help them out probably in the long run as far as competing for the spot.
It will.
Going into that, we can talk about the running back core. Rural Retreat's known for having that real ground and pound running game. What are some things we're seeing from the running back position here going into 2014?
Well, same thing. We don't have any definite starters, and we're going to let them play it out. We got about 5 or 6 kids, and all of them they're tough, they run hard, and they want to play. And you got to ask yourself the question: would you rather have one stud that you give it to every time, or would you have 5 or 6 that are pretty dang good and that will run hard? And I'm very pleased with what we have, and I'm hoping that a couple of them will emerge up above the next ones, and we'll have to find out. But like you said, Rural Retreat is known for running the football, and that's one thing that we have stressed. Got to be able to run the football in order to be successful, and we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out, Dylan.
Talking about running the football, how does your offensive line look so far this year?
Very good. And if you know me, I'm a glass half empty guy most of the time. But I'll say this: I've been a lot of places, and like I said, I've been a couple different schools. But we got as good as anybody else. We have a lot of people no one know about, because we have one kid that's never played before. Played as a 9th grader and got injured and didn't play sophomore year. And we got a bunch of guys that played JV. But I think we should be pretty good up front. And we stress it to them all the time that it doesn't matter who's running the football. If we're blocking people up front and doing what we're supposed to up front, it doesn't matter who's carrying the ball, they're going to be successful.
And especially with what's going on up front with the linemen, that's going to be a real big help. As far as that goes, though, can you give us some strengths on your offense and defense? Just give me one strength for both sides. I hate to put you on the spot.
Dylan, we are so young. We are so young at all of our spots that I don't know if I could give you a truthful answer. We'll have to find out. And I guess that's why they play the games, and we're going to find out. If I was to say right now, if I just give you a quick answer, I would hope it would be our offensive line and our defensive line. That's where I want it to be strong. And everything else will take care of itself if we get stuff taken care of there. If we're not very good there, we're not going to be very good. If we are good there, we're going to be decent. So I'm hoping that our strength on offense and defense is up front.
Yeah, well, especially with Rural Retreat, it seems like every year they flying under the radar. it's like every year, Roy Street's always that team that everybody's like, you better watch out for them. But people, for some reason, they never really have them as a really at the top. They just got them sort of flying under the radar, even when they have great seasons. So, how excited are you to come in and somehow play the spoiler role again here for Roy Street?
And I'm going to say this: that's exactly where we want to be. That's exactly where we want to be.
And I don't know why that happens.
And we talk to our kids, and every time our kids read the message board, and every time we see something, we put it up on the board. We don't say a word. We don't say a word. I tell them not to say a word, but we keep it in the back of our mind, and I want us to play with a chip on our shoulders. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that. And like you said, there's a lot of uncertainty with our program. There's a lot of uncertainty about our program, but we're hoping that we're going to raise some eyebrows.
Well, looking at the Hoka-Higgy this year overall, it's going to be a very tight season. It looks like even within the top 3 and within the bottom 4, there's really not teams that you can say exactly how things are going to pan out, and that's exactly the way we want it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why you play the game.
Season.
That's why you play the games, and you never know. I've always said that football is a game of emotions, and you're dealing with teenage kids. You never know what to expect. You never know what to expect. So any given Friday night, things can happen.
Do you feel like the reason Roy Street sometimes gets overlooked is because you're sort of out of the scope of the Hoka-Higgy? Really, you're sort of a few miles away from all the other teams. You think about everybody else, they're down Smith County and just in Washington County. Do you feel like the distance might be a reason why people are not as knowledgeable about the teams as far as that goes?
I'll tell you no, and I'll tell you why, Dylan. Because George Wythe isn't. George Wythe is farther away than we are. Yeah. I'm going to say it this way, and I tell our kids all the time: until we start winning games, then we're not going to get the respect we deserve. The way to change that is we just got to win games, and it's simple as that. And we know that, and like I said, we use it as motivation.
Well, you'll definitely be able to use it going into this year. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we're going to finish off this set of questions. We'd like to thank our sponsors also for donating money to our show. And let's go ahead and continue our interview. Coach, how do you feel about the new 90-minute contact rule that the VHSL has installed this year? You get 90 minutes of contact per week. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's something that the Virginia High School League installed to keep our players safe. And I've always thought this. I've always thought you have to replicate what you're going to do on Friday night. So there's got to be a time and a place where we have to block and tackle and put people on the ground. We know that. But there's also got to be a lot of teaching time and a lot of time where we stay off each other so we can stay healthy. And obviously our numbers, we don't have the luxury of extra players that can slide in there and help us when we need to. So we try to keep everybody safe, and you know, truly 90 minutes, it seems like a short time, but when you're actually full contact, 90 minutes is plenty of time. So it's fine.
The next question going forward, what is one thing that you want your players to have learned from you after they graduate? Hit you with a tough question.
I've always told them this: I just want them to be better people when they leave our program. Obviously, I want them to be successful in football, but I want them to be successful in the classroom. We talk about that, and I want them to be better people when they leave this school and leave our program. That's all I want. And if I've done that and we lose every game, then that's a win for me.
Yeah, that's a great outlook to have to teach your players that, because it's definitely more than football. In the end, they get 4 years of football, and some of them are lucky enough to go play
it really
4
is.
more, but a lot of them don't get that opportunity, so they got to get what they can get out of these 4 years, and it goes by a whole lot quicker than what they think.
It does, and I make sure that I tell them that football doesn't last forever. If you're lucky enough to go to the next level, then you know it's 4 more years. If you're lucky to go, you might be 4 more there. So it doesn't last forever, and you got to do something afterwards. And obviously, it's a big focus for us, but it's not everything. It's not everything for us.
Okay, and going into your first season, what are your expectations for this year?
Our expectations for this year is to take every game individually, and be as prepared as we can and play as hard as we can and let the chips fall. And if we do that, wins will take care of themselves. Wins will take care of themselves. Obviously we prepare every week to win, and so does everybody else. So we understand that. And there's got to be a winner and a loser. But if we can look ourselves in the eyes and say we've done everything that we possibly can for the week, and things don't work out, then we can live with it. And that's what I focus on our kids. Play hard, listen to us, and things will take care of themselves.
And just letting the chips fall.
That's right.
Wherever they need to be. Well, Coach, that's a great outlook to have. We're getting ready to go to another commercial break, but up next we're going to play our little game called Know Your Coach. So hang with us. Welcome back, and right now it's time for our little segment called Know Your Coach. Coach, the time to beat here is Coach Palmer's record, 1 minute and 7 seconds. So we'll see if you can beat that. Andy, let me know when you're ready. Second favorite sport?
Golf.
Favorite TV show?
Sports Center.
Favorite movie?
Rudy.
If you could live in any decade, which would it be?
40s.
Laid back or intense?
Intense.
Math or history?
History.
Dream job when you were a kid?
Head football coach.
Special talent?
I'm a teaching tennis pro.
Greatest coaching moment?
Just all the memories.
Unknown fact?
Rural Retreat's the best school in the state of Virginia.
Least favorite song?
Macarena.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Favorite sports team?
Rural Retreat Indians.
Favorite food?
Crab legs.
Most used line as a head coach?
Run it again.
Favorite vacation spot?
Myrtle Beach.
First car?
Honda Prelude.
That's all. Let's see what he got.
53 seconds.
53 seconds. We got a new winner.
Excellent. What do I win?
We're going to think of the prize here later
on.
on.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We still got 2 more coaches.
It's one of those sort of deals. We still got 2 more coaches.
Okay.
So you're
okay.
ahead.
We'll give him a
53
chance.
seconds. That was fast. Shoot. And Coach Palmer is in second place, 1:07. Coach Patterson from Holston's in third place, 1:20. Coach Carroll's in fourth, 1:40. And then Coach Fry's in fifth with 2 minutes and 1 second. So you're definitely ahead of the pack there, and hopefully that's where you want your team to
That's
end up
right.
at the end of the
That's
year.
right. A little motivation for him.
Coach Palmer will be disappointed if you took his spot right here. So
I'll have to make it up to him.
you'll have to make it up to him, yeah. But with that, Coach, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here as far as preseason schedule-wise. You had your orange and black game here last Friday. Can you tell me how that went in the rain?
It was absolutely great. Besides the rain, it was what we expected. We got the butt up against each other a little bit, and we played for about an hour, and we saw some good things. We saw some things that we needed to correct, and we just need to get out and do it. And in game-like situations, and other than the rain, it was absolutely great.
It worked out pretty good. Can you tell us the upcoming schedule here before the first week of the season? What are some things planned for your team as far as scrimmages and benefits?
We go to James River. We go to James River this Friday. It's at 6 o'clock at James River. And then the following Friday, we have a benefit game against Lebanon. And I know this, we're going to find out about where we stand after Lebanon. I know Lebanon's a 2A team and James River is a 2A team, but Lebanon has always been very strong, and it's going to be a tough place to play. And we got a lot of young kids, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see where we are.
Well, Coach, we're excited to see what's going to happen with your young team this year. You definitely got a very good start to the season. It seems like you're loving it here at Rural Retreat, and we're glad to have you. But thank you for having us here today.
Hey, I appreciate what you guys do.
And good luck for the season. But with that, we're going to go on. We'll probably be with Rural Retreat next, so make sure you check out our YouTube channel. But thank you, Coach, and we'll be back up here when the season starts.
Thank you.